If refs had to do a press conference after the game, that might be kind of cool. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? If they had to kind of like account for their actions.
To go out there and defend their calls. Like,
Yeah.
All right, here's why Dez didn't catch it.
It's like, oh, well, he was down. And just sitting there. He has the hoodie on, too, and he's got, like, the Gatorade bottle. It's like, what was that call on 4th and 3? What'd you see back there? Welcome to episode 15 of the Harsher Sports Podcast. I'm Austin.
I'm Noah. Over there behind the mic and stuff, Ty is back.
Welcome back, Ty.
Yo, what's up?
Your voice is gone. You were excited or something yesterday at the BCHS game?
Yeah, I had a little Valley Championship. Sadly, we lost, but now my voice is gone because of it.
He told me specifically, do not talk to me this whole thing. His voice is just killing him. Well, all the people that were mad that we didn't talk about the Raiders last week are going to be pretty happy now that they've won and we're back, baby.
No, that either they're going to be mad or they're either going to be happy or they're going to be like, oh, well, now they're talking about them because they won.
And I'm like, yeah, that's facts too. I'm like, yeah, man, that's straight up how it's going to happen. When it's bad, I'm just not going to say a word.
This was the least stressful Sunday I've had in a while. Waking up knowing the Raiders didn't have to worry about the Raiders winning.
The best Sundays are when the Raiders don't play, like when it's a bye week or something. I can just relax. And me and Noah just lay on the couch, just having a good day today. Finally, after like 3 weeks of just harsh Sundays. So Ty, I think we have found the Raiders, Raiders' path to success this season. The Raiders currently are 6-0 when Derek throws for 300 yards and 0-5 when he throws for under 300 yards, which is crazy, right? That's like when you see that stat, you're like, obviously, now we know what we need to do. We need to get the ball in our quarterback's hands, and we need to let him throw the rock.
Yeah, I think they need to be a pass-first offense, right?
Exactly.
Which I think they have really great running backs now. They have Josh Jacobs. Kenyon Drake has been doing great, which they're great. But I think what makes the running game work is when the defense doesn't know, like, it's first down, they're obviously going to hand it off up the middle. Like, keeping them guessing is what opens up the run game.
Like the touchdown pass to Deshaun Jackson was like first, second down, right? And that was something.
Yeah, that was a first down.
That was something we haven't seen in so long. Like actually, like throwing it downfield on a first down, like that. That was so cool to finally see again. And I think for sure with the Raiders, like if we're throwing, like if we're a pass first team, I feel like that would make the running backs better because then like people are gonna pass commit on us, and then Josh can be back to his old self where he's just running right down the middle, like taking it to the house. Kenyon can like catch him passes too, because he's a great versatile back like that too.
I mean that's what happens when you have a deep threat, which is what hopefully Deshaun Jackson will be like that for a few weeks to come. Yeah. But when you have a deep threat, then you can and the team knows that you actually might pass it deep. Yeah. Then that stretches out the field. It opens up more room for Hunter to work with down underneath, like slants across the middle, opens up the run game, opens up Darren Waller. Your dad talked about that we just recorded it. Yeah. It'll be out Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday. Yeah, I think middle of the week.
David Carr breaking down
he's breaking down Deshaun Jackson's film, That'll be really interesting. I think we're gonna do that like probably once a week where he's gonna break down. Like if you guys wanna comment like your favorite team and like what plays he wants to break down, like you said today, like why your team's good at running the ball, why they're not good at running the ball, or like specific plays, or like can you show us what's happening here? Like he'll do that for you totally, and it'll be like, it's really fun. It was amazing to watch today. Like he did it all in one take. He was insane. I was sitting back there just
recording him smiling.
Yeah, actually he did it in 2 takes, but it was the first time he like in the first 2 seconds he started speaking, he said one more time, and then it was right through.
It's like what's in High School Musical? They do the.
He said, "All right, I'm David Carr. One more time," and then he just went straight through like 20 minutes,
just locked in.
And they said, "We're good. All right, guys," and he just got up and went back to watching the rest of the games.
I think talking about the Raiders, obviously the great game they had on Thursday. Yeah, I think the biggest takeaway for me, or the most impressive stat, was that Derek Carr recorded the fastest ball carrying speed, or not fastest, third fastest out of all the Thanksgiving Day
19
games.
miles per hour,
19.84 miles per hour.
Yeah, the man was
which is faster than Deshaun Jackson on his touchdown.
And you could see after he ran, that man was so excited when he got there. That we haven't seen him like take off like that in a little bit, and that was so much fun to watch. Especially like he was hauling, especially with like having Mariota, right? Because the Raiders started to like implement like Mariota more in the passing and the running game now, right? Kind of confuse defenses a little bit. Put Derek at wide receiver where he can motion for Diggs to come guard him. While Derek's also off the line of scrimmage, so Diggs could even press him if he wanted to, but that's okay. But I just think it like like if the Raiders keep adding this stuff, like they get that deep threat, Derek can move a little bit, Mariota can come in, he scored a touchdown, right? Mariota ran it in.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's so many more options now for the Raiders. And I think when we lost Henry Ruggs for those like 2 weeks or 3 weeks or something like that, right? 2 or 3 weeks, that was probably like the easiest version that other teams could play the Raiders, because they really you knew kind of what the game plan was going to be, right?
Yeah, I mean that you take away their, especially during some of that time when also Waller was out.
Yeah,
and you just, I mean, that has been the Raiders' strength for those first few games that they were winning, was how many different weapons they have, so many different options. Then when you take one of those away, then it makes the other options weaker as well. Which is why having Deshaun Jackson is huge, because not only does it add another weapon, but it makes your existing weapons better because it frees stuff up for them to do.
I even think that Deshaun Jackson looks like he is more defenses are more scared of him than they were Henry Ruggs. Like maybe it's the veteran presence and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like they look like they're more concerned when Deshaun was on the field than when Henry was on the field.
Yeah, well, it's a lot different because Henry Ruggs was sort of on the rise, where he was finding himself in the league, versus Deshaun Jackson,
everyone knows who Deshaun Jackson
established
is,
as one of the best deep threats in the NFL.
Yeah, so this man can beat me pretty well, which is why it's cool to see my dad break down the film today.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people like that. And Ty, you actually brought to our attention that there was some dude, I think it was on Reddit, some Raider fan, flipped a coin for every Raider game, and he's currently 11-0, which is 1 in 2,083 chance. That's insane.
Yeah, it's awesome. So it was before the season.
Yeah.
He flipped this coin, and so as we're progressing through the season, it's just getting more and more popular. So we can't tell Derek.
Yeah, Derek can't figure this out.
He can't figure this out. So if he sees the podcast, we can't tell what the rest of the games are.
Yeah.
But it is 11-0 up until this point.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That's ridiculous. So he flipped it 17 times before the season started?
Yeah, he flipped it for every game.
Heads is for win, tails is for loss.
And he kept going, and he's 11-0 right now. And he projected us to be, you say, was 10-7?
Yeah, 10-7.
That's
Did he do playoffs too? Do you know?
No, he didn't do playoffs.
He didn't do playoffs.
But I would eat a 10-7. Like straight up, I would be smiling for a 10-7.
That's absurd. The odds of that.
The odds of that are
that's
insane.
Unreal.
Yeah, and
he's probably from the future or something.
Yeah, dude, he might.
I might be
Back to the Future.
I might be more likely to believe that
he's from the future than he actually guessed that all right.
Yeah.
What if he made 50 different accounts?
Well, dude, it's crazy that he didn't even guess it though. You think, if he's from the future, he might have guessed it.
Did he post a video of him flipping it?
No, he just said he flipped it.
He posted it maybe
that new conspiracy theory.
So he's from the future. He's 100% from the future.
He's got the almanac thing. He's got the almanac. He's at Raiders. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like in Back to the Future where he comes back and bets on sports.
And he's a millionaire now. That's so sick. But also, do you think when he was flipping it and he got to those 3 weeks, he's like, dang.
he's like, wow, what happened here after after week 7? What is that?
He's like, we're gonna do so good. What just happened?
Him flipping it, not knowing that Gruden's gone.
He was just
knowing that Ruggs is gone. Just being like, wow,
dude,
that's
that was like Raider fan paradise before then. That was before the calm before the storm. We're just like la da 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 da. He's just flipping it, going la da da. Just happy as can be, dude.
Or he was flipping it, being like, oh, this is not a good prediction. Then it started getting closer, and he's like, this is feeling realistic.
Yeah. What number do you think it got to when he was guessing them right? When his family started being like, this is kind of weird, right? Like, you think around 4 right? He was like, whoa.
No,
man.
probably. I bet after the first one, he was hyping himself up.
The first 100%.
I would be.
I'm still right. I'm still right.
I told you we beat the Ravens. Or have you seen those videos of there's somebody that has a corgi that they make they toss the ball and he hits the ball.
He's pretty accurate too.
I think he knows his stuff better than some people on SportsCenter probably. He does better predictions.
He knows his stuff. Don't do that. What was that? That was the weirdest
sneeze
I've ever seen.
That was the cutest sneeze I've ever seen.
I'm so sorry.
He sneezed like a little kitten.
He said, and then he looked over and just started smiling. He probably, that dog for sure does better than that dude on TikTok that we like, the Fade King, whatever his freaking name is.
Oh, yeah.
The sports betting guy. Yeah, we're not, sports betting's not our thing, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that he went, what was it, on Thanksgiving Day, he went over 3. And then the next day he was like, okay, we're going to make it up. He did a 4 or 5
team parlay
with different sports, different things.
And some guy
college football, these different things, basketball. And somebody did the opposite of him.
And won $10,000, right?
Yeah, and they only put down $150.
He put $100, Tyler, and this dude put this money down. He's like, these teams are gonna win, and some dude faded him, did the opposite, and won $10,000.
I seen that like people go opposite of him.
Yeah, and everyone in the comments like, "Thank you, bro, thank you."
Or like when he said that he was like, "I'm picking the Lions to win on Thanksgiving Day," and all the Bears fans in the comments like, "Thank you, we needed this. We needed this win."
Dude, it's so funny because like, and then I scroll through his TikTok. I'm like, dude, he legit hasn't gotten one right yet. Like, it's very far in view between when he gets one right. That makes it better. I think like. He's probably not having fun losing money, but it's funny for me to watch. You know what I'm saying?
Just his entire brand is like losing bets.
Yeah.
And it's not even like he places like horrible bets towards like there's no way that's gonna land. It's 50-50 bets. Like he's playing the spread.
Like when he bet on the Raiders to beat the Giants, and as soon as I saw that video, I was like, here we go. It's one of those weeks. Something else happened today. The Patriots beat the Titans 36-13, and they now took the place in the AFC, which is kind of crazy. They're both tied at 8-3 right now. And I don't know. I thought the Titans, I think it's probably losing Derrick Henry. Probably like that obviously hurts you more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, Derrick Henry.
There's not many people.
There's nobody that can really replace
I mean,
Derrick
it was
Henry.
crazy seeing every week when it was like, here's the rushing leaders, and Derrick Henry was still in there. Still number one. He's like, he hadn't been playing for 4 weeks.
He's like just now getting caught up to by these guys.
By Jonathan Taylor. Who
I'm like, he's been out for a lot of weeks, and he's still like number 4, number 5 in like rushing yards.
Like as the Raiders part of me, I'm like, I hate the Patriots, but also I like Mac Jones. But as the Giants part of me, I should hate the Patriots too. But I'm rooting for Mac. But like, I can rationalize that part by being like, the Giants own the Patriots. You know, we beat them twice in the Super Bowl. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? I can root for Mac a little bit. Because I think the reason I root for Mac is because I don't want to root for Brady. So I think I'm just trying.
Yeah, I think to some extent, which I'm one of them, but I think all the people heavily rooting for Mac Jones. Well, I like Mac Jones a lot, but one of the reasons is probably deep down is like because I want the Patriots to be successful without Tom Brady.
Yeah, because I'm the biggest Bill Belichick fan ever. Like he's like his stories, like the stories people tell and stuff are so cool. Mm-hmm. Like I heard a story today that you might, or a couple days ago that you might like. Bill Belichick told Julian Edelman, like when he was a young wide receiver, to change like his glove color to white, so when he would block some, like when he blocked the defenders, the refs couldn't see the holding call, which I thought was pretty cool. But then Julian,
that's epic, yeah,
well, that's really cool, right? And then why did I say it like that? That was so weird. But Julian Edelman said he wouldn't change his gloves because his mom knows him by the red gloves.
This is always look at the red. I saw that. That was
awesome.
Right.
That's
kind of in the Super Bowl.
Red gloves. That was kind of sick though. Like the Bill Belichick's going that in depth where he's like, make sure all the rookies are wearing white gloves, so the wide receivers are wearing white gloves so they can't see these holding calls.
I mean, honestly, that makes sense because people say that there's like a holding call.
Like a holding call every play.
Every play there's a holding call. It's just whether it gets called or not, how obvious it is.
A flag could be thrown every play on the offensive line or defensive line.
I mean that's. Yeah, if you're really looking for pass interference, you're gonna find pass interference.
For sure.
Which is why, like, I would not want to be a ref. I think being a referee in an NFL game,
it's so harsh.
I would not be able to handle it.
Like that's why when we see them like after Raider games or stuff, like they're running out of the thing. Like they get undressed so fast and they're gone. Like they. Like if refs had to do a press conference after the game, that might be kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? If they had to kind of like account for their actions,
to go out there and defend their calls. Like, all right, here's why Dez didn't catch it.
It's like, oh well, he was down and just sitting there. He has the hoodie on too, and he's got like the Gatorade bottle. It's like, what was that call on 4th and 3? What'd you see back there? That would be
if referees had to do post game conferences.
They just had to explain themselves like everybody else, you know.
Like, honestly, I don't know what I was doing there. Or when I went out there, I made some mistakes. I did my best. I played my best game. It's like, I tried my best, got most of them right. Nobody's perfect.
Like, why'd you call that Stephon Diggs touchdown back? It was like straight up because I have the Patriots defense on fantasy this week. And I really couldn't lose, so I'm just trying to do my best.
Like, I just want to be involved. It had been a while since I blew my whistle or threw a flag. I just want to do something.
Yeah, I was just getting a little bored over there. Look, I would understand if a ref like threw a call and they're like, "Why'd you do that?" Like it was obviously like completely wrong. He was like, "Honestly, it's my fantasy Super Bowl week, and I couldn't lose to this guy." Like, you know what? Do I understand it? I get it. You couldn't lose to your uncle or whatever.
You're just in your bag. That's why I think like all the best referee. The only way that you know somebody's a good referee is if you don't know their name. Because that's like that's especially in baseball. Yeah. The umpires, if you like the the umpires that are famous or infamous, like Angel Hernandez is a big one.
Yeah.
Like people shouldn't know your name. You should fly under the radar because the only reason they ever even think about you is if you're doing a bad job.
Yeah, or the only reason
which is why it's got to be a rough job. Like nobody notices. Like wow, the refs really got all the calls right.
That's how you should think about like kickers and stuff. I'm like you should only know if you miss.
Exactly.
Like I only know Blair Walsh's name because he shanked the kick in that.
Yeah, you didn't know him up until then.
I had no clue who the Vikings starting kicker was. Like, why would I care? I do know who Daniel Carlson is though, and he won the game for the Raiders. Shout to Daniel. That's facts. How many times they kick? Oh, sorry. What's up, Ty?
That dude gave me 20 points on my fantasy team.
Yeah, bro.
And that last field goal, you had to kick like 3 times. Yeah, they had to kick it 3 times. Like that.
Do you think? Was there some people saying that I think when it got moved closer and it got moved to a first down, and there's still time on the clock, that the Raiders should have ran like another offensive thing just to kind of get like Carlson's like make him relax a little bit.
Yeah, I mean I think that's something that I'd be curious. If I was the coach, I'd be like, let Carlson decide. Like if he feels like, no, I'm locked in, I'm in the zone, I want to kick it now, versus like wait a little bit. Let's get 5 more yards.
I wouldn't want to like sit on the sideline and wait, like they're waiting for me right now. They're trying to get closer so I can relax.
That might almost be worse to like have to go back to the sideline, like take another, like kick it into the net.
No.
Like,
for sure, like let's just do it right now. Let's get this over with.
Kicking is so much about just like being just mental, like mentality. Yeah, obviously you have to have like a crazy good leg.
He he won MVP of the game that week, and he got the turkey leg.
He did get the turkey leg.
He hit his longest field goal, 53 yards, and he made the game-winning kick, which was insane. And I think Hunter actually had a game like his highest career game too, right?
134 receiving yards, and he also had
receptions, right?
Some interceptions.
No, like he had the most receptions.
Yeah, he had like 8 or 9. He also had some rushing yards too.
Yeah, little boy running around. The boy just running.
I think the Raiders used there were like 6 different people that ran the ball.
Yeah,
and none of them are Alec Ingold. So
yeah.
Why didn't mean it like that. I was just saying like none of those were a fullback.
Yeah, okay.
Running backs, wide receiver, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers.
Yeah.
2 quarterbacks each got the ball to run.
I was like, that dude's towards ACL, bro. I was like,
I'm not like roasting it.
I know, yeah. I heard it. I was like, you just gotta eat that, bro. Straight up, Ingold, you just gotta eat that.
Hey, that man has some hurdles. He's clean with it.
He does. You haven't seen Ingold jump over people?
He looked terrified.
Oh,
best fullback in the league.
What?
My bad.
So I was looking at the the division rankings.
Yeah.
And so what's crazy
look at those.
so I was looking at the playoffs, even though they're not for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But NFC
playoffs.
The Cardinals,
that was good.
The Rams and the Niners, they're all in the top 6, and they're all in the same division. Like for the seeding.
That's who. Oh yeah. Rams, Niners. What did you say?
Rams, Niners, Cardinals.
Oh, Rams, Niners, Cardinals, 49ers. Huh?
The Rams are confusing. Yeah, the 49ers are also.
The 49ers.
I thought like going into not this week, but last week, I was thinking Rams were like the clear team to beat.
Yeah.
And then they got blown out by the 49ers.
And then they just lost to the Packers today.
Yeah, but the Packers are very good.
Packers are really good. But everyone, I think everyone knows that, the Rams should be the team to beat, at least talent-wise on the roster. And coaching staff-wise, Sean McVay is a great coach. Like, that for sure is the team that should be in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Injuries aside, they should be in the Super Bowl, I think. Like, if there's no injuries, they should be the favorites to win.
Yeah, which speaking of injuries, in that same division, you have the 49ers are...
Yeah, they're healthy now.
Lately, they've been playing way better.
Yeah, they've been playing so much better now that they're all healthy.
Mm-hmm. And Jimmy G has been killing it.
Jimmy G's been killing it. Seeing Kittle back on the field is so much fun. People... a lot of times, we've talked about before, when we talk about basketball, when Klay Thompson's hurt, people forget about how good he is. When Kittle's gone, you forget about how good Kittle is,
Mm-hmm.
These injuries really just kind of they take your eyes off of the great players. People forget how good CMC is, and now he's back, and he's doing the crazy things. Now he's all over SportsCenter again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just hard, yeah.
Well, they won. So the 49ers won today against the Vikings.
Right.
So that was because the Vikings, even though the record isn't great, they're a pretty good team too.
Yeah, they just had a rough start. I think they went 0-3, 0-4 in the beginning, and they went into the game tied with the Niners 5-5. So it was really a must-win game for both teams.
And also, most of the Vikings games have been almost all their games have come down to the very end.
Yeah,
where it's they could win it, they could not win it.
And then
game-winning field goals, game-losing field goals.
I think they said 6 or 7 of their games have been decided by 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
And it's especially hard for Vikings fans today because they lost and then the Packers win. which is kind of cool because it was Niners Vikings and then it was Packers Rams, which is kind of cool. Like the divisions playing each other.
Yeah,
I just feel bad for like Saul out there, our boy Saul, poor Vikings fan, had to lose twice today.
Yeah, but the Patriots are gonna win that. Not Patriots. The Packers are gonna win that division.
Oh, yeah, the Packers for sure gonna win that division.
Yeah, Vikings are competing for a wild card spot.
And it looks like,
although I don't know. I think they'll make the playoffs.
I mean, like the top 5.
The Vikings are actually in the wild card spot right now.
Right now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Kirk has been playing really good.
Yeah, and
it's just a matter of like Dalvin's not healthy.
And the Broncos, like
now.
Yeah, the Broncos. I think we keep talking about the Raiders, but like people, saying the Raiders season's over after they lose right these last 3 games. Now they win. The Chargers lose today. The AFC's wide open right now.
Yeah. It's even the AFC West is.
Yeah, the AFC
West.
You have
6 and 5,
6 and
right?
6.
Yeah.
Or you had 6 and 5, 6 and 5, 6 and 5, and then Chiefs 7 and 4.
Yeah, it's legit. It might be one of the best divisions of football right now. Like if the Broncos have a quarterback, it's going to be one of the best divisions of football.
Yeah, to not have a team with a losing record in that.
Yeah, like that's insane. It's like that, and then you look at the NFC East, and it's like, what is going on here? When the NFC East is like, it just constantly changes. It's like everyone else is gonna win 4 games, and then randomly one team's at the top, and then it's like, all right, and the Cowboys are back at the bottom, and then it goes back up, and it's back on the bottom again.
Yeah, no.
It's just a constant cycle over and over.
This has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but I told you I was gonna throw Nebraska football stats at you, and I wasn't lying.
Oh, you're right. Okay, we can talk about college football. I got some college football stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Okay. I think these are some of the craziest stats I've heard of in football. Nebraska finished the year. They finished the year against Big Ten opponents 1-8. Okay, 1-8. You know what the total scoring margin was?
What?
0. They scored exactly as many points as their opponents, and they went 1-8 against conference opponents.
How is that?
Ty's confused. He's doing
How does that even make sense?
How does that work?
So they were the first team in college football history to lose 9 games by single-digit margins in the same season. They went 1-8 in the Big Ten, and their combined scoring margins in those games were 0 because they lost. They lost 8 of those by a combined 49 points, and then the one game they won by 49 points. So every single game was like super close. The one they won,
they blew it.
They blew them out.
Yeah. Oh, that
every other game was like one possession, or most of them they had the lead till the end.
You can probably see in the video. My brain went ding, and it finally clicked what you're talking about.
No, it's absurd that they have, they've got to be. They finished 3-9.
Yeah, I think so.
Best 3-9 team in the history of football, probably.
Like that's gotta be the worst.
I mean, they the other day Michigan and Ohio State were playing each other, the number 2 and the number 5 team.
Yeah,
and Nebraska lost to both of them by a combined 12 points, and they're unranked, and they're just right on the cusp of winning every single game.
You know, who else is right on the
cusp? Which has got to be. Is that worse than just getting
that's what I think
out?
For sure. Yeah.
Then you don't tease me. Don't make me think we might win, because it's literally. They could be playing the worst team in the country or the best team in the country, and they'll lose it by 1 touchdown.
They lose it by 3 points.
Yeah, they're losing it, but
it's
not by
really
very
close.
much.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, who else was on the cusp of winning it all, at least going to a bowl game? Our Bulldogs, dude. And Boise, of course, let us down even when we don't play us. Even when we don't play,
Fresno
they're still
State
screwing
fans
us.
being forced to root for Boise for once, and then it doesn't.
They completely sold. How does that even happen?
Yeah, bro. Even when we don't play them, they screw us somehow. It was insane.
It in the bag.
Yeah, they were up 16-3 at first, and lost 16-27.
I think right for
24
halftime,
unanswered points.
Right for halftime, it was 16-3, and then the next time I see they didn't score 1 point in the second half.
You know why?
And all these Boise fans are like 0-4, 0-4. Like, you haven't beat us in 4 games. I'm like, bro, help us out, bro. Like, you can't give us a hand?
You know why, though? It's because they didn't play on the blue field. They played in San Diego.
Yeah.
Maybe if they played on the blue field, it'd all be different because they'd be confused. They'd be
That's
like,
true.
Where's the players? Where's the players? They couldn't see them.
Bulldogs, we beat up San Jose pretty well. We beat them, I think, on Friday, and then the Boise game was on Saturday. So everybody was waiting and watching. Every Fresno fan. I was texting because we're all big Fresno fans in this house. I was texting everybody, our friends Nick Espo and stuff. He's like, I can't believe I have to root for Boise right now. And I'm like, Dad, are you really how are you rooting for Boise? And he's like, I'm not rooting for Boise. I just hope that the other team doesn't do good.
That's what.
that's how he
college
worded it to
football
me.
is such a weird thing because you come down to I I don't like based on whether you want your team to get into a bowl game or like into college football playoffs. Like you got just the way you decide who you're rooting against.
Yeah, it's
like,
so hard. Yeah.
It's like, okay, this person's or this team is high rated, so I automatically want them to lose because I want to get into the playoffs or into the bowl games. Or whatever.
And like the team your hat wearing, like they lost too. Our boy was.
I don't know. What
I think on the daytime,
we just can't recover onside kicks anymore.
No, say what your record was that day. The teams you rooted for, weren't you 0-3 or something?
Yeah, I think it's 0-3.
He was 0-3, but it was the greatest day ever.
I was like, oh, North Carolina versus North Carolina State is super close. They came back, had the lead.
Yeah,
and then I don't know. We just can't hold on to like 2 possession leads with 2 minutes left. But
yeah, and we watched. Tyler probably just want to talk about it, but our BCHS football team lost, and my bad, Ty.
He just keeps finding ways to bring that up, doesn't he? He just keeps saying. So, anyways, BCHS lost.
That was my bad.
It was a pick. It was an interception.
Oh, for sure, it was an interception. We all, we saw it. Unless there was a view on the other side. That's
okay. What do you think? Should there be, if they have footage? Because especially with like a CIF championship game. It's being recorded. Should the refs be able to like should there be challenges?
Yeah.
Should they be able to review it or no?
I don't know.
Well, we have like the iPads on the sideline, like where you have the end zone view and the sideline view, and it was easily a catch. And even the guy on the
there's
CBC
no way to
sideline.
change it after they rule it, is there?
No, not in high school.
Yeah, that's rough.
Because the thing that I think about is like when people say should there be like challenges or something in high school. Like I get like people are like. Oh, it's just a high school game, but like to a lot of these guys playing, like it's the last time they'll play football. Like these, like this Valley game means a lot to the seniors,
especially a championship.
Yeah, the Valley championship game, like this means a lot to these guys playing right now. And like as BCHS went down, they recovered a fumble, and like 3 minutes left in the game, they scored, went for 2, they're up by 1, and then 50 seconds left. They drive down the field, interception happens, the guy lands on the floor, and the ref that was behind him says that he dropped it. And then they go down the kick and field goal to win the game.
Yeah, it wasn't even the ref right there.
No, it's the ref behind him, like on his back.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Maybe we might have to post the clip so people can see what we're talking about on the Twitter or something. On Twitter, I just sound like Pop. I said on the Twitter. That was my bad.
On the Twitter.
Oh,
on the interweb.
On the YouTube. I saw another thing about high school football that I want to ask you guys about. I saw some team like I think it was in like Inglewood or something. They beat a team they played 113 to like 0.
Oh gosh.
And they were like, and then it was like 100 something to 0, and they went for 2 at the end of the game. Like they.
I think I did see that.
Yeah, and people are like, "Is that unsportsmanlike? Should the team be punished for like going for 2?"
Get better, bro.
You're already down by triple digits. There's nothing like get good.
I have 2 thoughts. Okay, I have 3 thoughts. Yeah, if I'm the other team, I'm gonna be pissed. Like, but. I let you score 100 points.
If I'm the other team, I'm not letting you score 130 points.
Like, something's going to happen. You're not scoring 100 points on me, dude. Like, if you score 100 points, you deserve it. And then the other thing I was thinking about is, like, if I'm the coaches of the team that's scoring 100 points, I'm going to boost every guy on my team stats so they can get an offer to college, bro. Like, we're all going to college. Everyone's scoring touchdowns.
Or who set that game up? Because people
right? Games. That's like when we played Mission Oak.
That means that coach allowed this to happen. He said, "Oh yeah, that'd be a good game for us."
Yeah, right. The quarterback threw 13 touchdowns. Can you imagine that? Like, if these like college guys who are more in depth than I'm about to say, but like if they're looking at the stat sheet and they see like 13 touchdowns or whatever, they're gonna like, or just they see like his like career touchdowns that season, they see an additional 13. That's insane.
Yeah, or I saw a meme that it was like, I think it might have been that game. I don't know. It was one where it was like 0 to like 100 or 200 points, and then the caption was like, "Man, the refs really screwed us over this game." Or they're like, we almost had him. Like it was really the refs. Like
And then I saw like some Vikings fans were posting today about like a PI call at the end of the game that wasn't called, and they're all tweeting like, "Where's the Raider refs when you need them?" I'm like, come on, bro. Why do we get thrown into this for no reason? Like, there's no point to bring this up right now.
But I don't know why people switch up. The Raiders are like the second most penalized team in the NFL.
Yeah.
But then when we play the Cowboys, because everyone's watching, they all start freaking out saying the Raiders got bailed out. I can't.
Well, both teams had the same amount of penalties. It was 14 and 14. You have to think about it. So it was there. I mean, there were a lot of penalties.
Yeah, you have to think about it, Ty. Like the Raiders are one of the biggest like fan bases in the league, right? It's probably like it's Raiders, Cowboys, what else?
Steelers probably.
Yeah. Like when you think about it, like a lot of people though probably don't watch the Raiders, when they have another choice. So on Thanksgiving, people are watching the Raiders for the first time. They must have been shocked by the madness that we live through every single week, right?
Well, dude, it was
the most viewed since 1990 or something like that.
Yeah, they said like 36 million views, right? Like that's insane. But that's why I just think like all these fans watching like this is how the Raiders live every week. I'm like, yeah, this is just life for us, dude. Like this is just life. We're just running around. Our wide receivers or our quarterbacks at wide receiver. We're fighting for our lives every day.
They got to witness our famous run punt.
Yeah, that's the famous Raider run punt, or the famous Raider throw it, run it, get 3rd and 8, and then run it again, then punt it. That's my favorite too. Also, real quick before we move on back to college football, I want to say our boy Derek, one of only 5 quarterbacks to reach 30,000 passing yards in his first 8 seasons.
That's not college football, but
that was before we go back. But that's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. It's crazy to me to think that like he can still do that after like all he's been through.
Well, it's crazy if you look at all of the if you look at him on like the all-time passing list.
Yeah.
He's in the company of like Hall of
Famers. Hall of Famers, yeah.
Or like all players that played for like really great, which is why it's absurd that he's there without having been on like, with the exception of 2016, which we all know what happened, like not having been on a playoff team.
Yeah, not
really interesting.
Which is like, it's kind of like the thing where it's getting to the point, like if he keeps going, because he has I think Derek's play style, he could play until he's like 45, right? I think he could play as long as Brady. He's not moving as much as Brady or as like all these other guys.
I don't know. He'd be hitting 19.84 miles per hour.
Yeah,
so I don't know.
But I'm saying he has like the opportunity to like get pretty high up there in the all-time passing, I think.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And like then to me, like if you're getting up there, right? Like his obviously, because he's on the team he's on, and like how it's been in the past, like his it's the thing that happened with Eli. His win-loss isn't going to be 500. Yeah. Remember, because people were trying to hate on Eli, but his win-loss is exactly 500, which Derek's going to be down because like. I think his rookie season, we didn't win till a game till like week 8 or something.
Well, he got drafted by a fixer-upper.
Yeah, so. Yeah, that's true.
So but like, need a little time.
Like I think I'll wait a couple more years, but if Derek keeps doing what he's doing and keeps playing like he's playing, I'll start getting to the Vince Carter never won a championship. I'll start getting to that. You know what I'm saying? But when Derek gets close to retirement, I'm like, Vince Carter.
Like, is that Allen Iverson in the Hall of Fame?
I was like, I'm like, what about Derek? Especially with 17 games, like a lot of these records are gonna be broken pretty soon.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting now that they've gone to 17 games in a season. Like they're gonna have to put like an asterisk.
I think so too.
Because legit every record is
every passing like single season passing record is gonna be broken for sure.
Yeah, if not this year, then at least in the next couple of years.
Yeah, it's like guys like Pat Mahomes are gonna just shatter these passing records.
Think about passing records. That's an opportunity to get an extra 350 yards potentially.
Yeah, right. Like that. So that's
extra
like
2 or 3 touchdowns. I mean,
yeah. So what usually would be like the difference of like 100 yards, 30 yards is now getting blown up by like 200 plus
which
yards.
Makes you think. If only Derrick Henry was healthy this whole season, he would be shattering that thing.
Yeah. I think he was projected to beat his record last year, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, that would be insane. The NFL is better and more fun to watch when Derrick Henry's like healthy.
When he's just throwing people to the ground.
Yeah.
Tossing 300-pound linemen.
So you're talking about the 17 games.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the additional teams and what that would be like?
Oh, yeah. People were like, I saw NBC. Oh, sorry. NBC Sports posted like, if the NFL went to 40 teams, like what would you want to do?
I'd want to.
Yeah, I'd want to die.
I'd want that to not happen. Is what I'd want.
Because listen, our family and our friends.
I mean, unless one is just like in my backyard.
Yeah, unless the Baco Blitz comes back as an NFL team, then maybe we can handle it. But our family's been through what expansion teams look like, and I would pray.
You wouldn't wish that upon anyone.
No, 8 new teams, bro. That would be insane. Especially if it's 8 new. We're not in my dad's house. 8 new teams, right? And they'd have to go. So they have new division. Would they just put those 8 new teams in the same division?
You can't put them in the same.
That'd be the worst division ever.
They all go 0-17.
Those divisions
they'd
playing
be making
each other.
The playoffs after winning. Well, they'd win their division game, some of their division games, but nothing out of the division.
Nothing else. So teams would go like a team would win their 6 games and they would go to the just championship. They would go to
there's no way.
There's no way, right?
I mean, 32. Yeah, 32 is enough teams to have to like watch and keep track of.
I don't even really understand, like what I don't understand what it was like before the Texans. Like there was just 31 teams. Like I don't really get it. Like I guess I never really thought about it. Like before the Texans came, actually I think the Jags were pretty close. I think the Jags were made pretty close to the Texans too. I don't
know. This is one of the types of things that we'll say, and then people in the comments will be like, "So young, they don't even know."
So young. You didn't watch Jerry Rice? Sorry, I do. Could not be born sooner. Like legit,
I'm just getting flamed for not being born sooner.
I should have come out of my mom and then been like, "Hey, can you send me back a couple more years, please? I'm gonna get flamed for not watching Jerry Rice."
Okay, but 40 teams. That's 20 NFL games in a week.
Yeah, right. That's insane.
So much.
I think
that's so much to follow and keep track of.
Maybe, like, if you could relocate one team, where would you go?
I would move the Chargers back to San Diego.
Yeah, I think the Chargers is a good one, but I think if I was moving one, I think a Vancouver team would be kind of sick, or Toronto, like that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, I guess the NFL is the only major sport league to not have a Canadian team. Yeah, which is interesting. Which I was thinking about that last night. That it's interesting because we were at a hockey game. Yeah. I was thinking, why is it that like there's so many Canadians in hockey? It's like a big Canadian sport, and most of the teams are in the United States. It's all kind of weird to me.
Yeah, it's all in the States.
Yeah, and you have teams in like places that are not. I don't know. I just don't think of it as like. Which is Anaheim hockey. Yeah,
but it makes no sense. And it's like
Los Angeles,
Bakersfield Condors. I'm like that makes total sense. Also, the Bakersfield Fog is a way cooler name than Condors. They might need to go back. That's all I'm gonna say. No one cares about that.
You can't dress up as Fog.
That's true.
Or actually, you could.
I think USC's back, dude. I think USC. I think it's looking, or they did sign Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma to go to USC. Yeah, they're gonna pay him the most money ever. But I think USC just got one of the best coaches in college football easily.
Also, I was thinking about it from the perspective of Lincoln Riley. Yeah, super smart decision, I think. Yeah, because Oklahoma is joining the SEC soon. Yeah. I would much rather be in Pac-12. Oh, yeah. I'd rather be coaching the best. Turn USC into the best, most dominant school in Pac-12 and try to do that rather than go to the SEC and be like competing against Nick Saban and whatever and be like one of the like third or fourth best teams at best in that conference.
Now I feel so bad for Oklahoma because now like he brought them in to the whatever and then he's like leaving them. He's like and play Alabama. Good luck.
Yeah, this will be fun. Go to the SEC. I mean, by the way, I'm going to California.
But also I think if I'm him, right? If I'm why did I just
Lincoln?
Yeah, if I'm Lincoln Riley, like for sure I'm coming to LA and I'm coaching at USC. Like that is in my head that just sounds like a better time than coaching in Oklahoma, just like location wise. Plus they're probably paying an insane amount of money.
Well, it's kind of weird that USC hasn't been like I mean they've been all right, but they haven't been great for a while. They've had some like pretty good basketball teams, but their football team has not been.
Football-wise, they haven't been good in like a couple years, and it's kind of like I do like the USC and UCLA rivalry, so I like when those games are like big, like fighting games.
Yeah, but neither one of those teams have been big football schools for a minute.
Yeah, so it's been. Yeah,
which I think. I mean, I like the idea of California college football. Like, I want it to be. I want it to be really intense. Yeah. Like it was dope when Stanford had Christian McCaffrey and they were like in the top 5 teams in the country because that's like.
And now they have Ben Yurosek and it's even better. So
yeah, so they'll be probably number 1 team in the country soon enough. But that's like a while ago when I went out to North and South Carolina. It's like. It's such a cool like the vibe of college football around there because everybody like I remember we had a layover in Texas and there was just people on the airplane just like arguing about Texas going to the SEC. I'm like, this is cool that people care this much about college football here. Yeah, but like I'd love for that to be the thing in California.
Yeah, but to me, I think it's on the rise. But I think the younger kids, like the high school kids and stuff, they're starting to be like big about football, like especially in the Valley. Like we're trying to. Like the Horse trying to bring up the Valley a little bit too. Like we promote some of the players and stuff, but like those fans and like the players of those teams are like trying to like bring it up a little bit, and it's exciting to see now these guys like going to college in California and they're bringing it up too, instead of going like all the way over there, kind of leaving it behind.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, it's definitely like a snowball effect of once you have a few good people committing to somewhere. Like, if it takes like I think there's a great impact that one good coach, like maybe it's Lincoln Riley, has when you join a program, then recruits start going there, and then people see that recruits are going there, and it just kind of builds off of each other, and then even schools in that same conference, in that same area start to get better.
Yeah, exactly. I think all it takes is like one team, like Fresno's problem, right? Like they do really good, and then their coach like gets signed to a bigger school and they leave. All it takes is the coach, like some guy who was willing to come in and be like, no, I'm staying here. Like I'm going to build up this program. That's really all it takes.
Yeah, which is why it's tough when you don't have, I mean, like SECs in the Pac-12, but like a school like Fresno, not a Power 5 school. The Mountain West is, I don't know, like
it's
if you're a good coach in Mountain West, you're usually getting yanked out to go
like
coach
it's not saying the
else.
Mountain West is bad. Like there's great games in it, but it's just saying like as soon as these coaches get these bigger jobs, they're gonna go, and it just takes like one coach to be like, no, I'm gonna stay in Fresno, and I'm gonna grow the program here.
Yeah, I mean, when you have coaches that stick with one program for a really long time, it usually is.
Yeah,
it's usually because they're good.
Yeah, and that's true. And I think Tyler, you want to say like, you think you have the next candidate for Oklahoma, don't you?
Oh yeah.
He almost forgot the thing he was telling me. Please,
he's been talking about all day. He's like Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
It was just weird because like, so Cardinals obviously leading their division right now.
Yeah.
And this has nothing to do, like Cliff Kingsbury never said he'd go to Oklahoma, right? Like he'll go there.
People are just talking about him.
Yeah, like, and Oklahoma came out and said like, yeah, they're pursuing him. Like that's why it started. Like they would want him to be his coach. But
was he at Oklahoma before?
I don't think he was. But I know
he has no connection to Oklahoma.
I don't want to sound dumb, but I know he was in college. Like he was there with like Patrick Mahomes.
Texas he went to Oklahoma.
No, I think he
coached. What is his connection? Does he have any sort of connection to Oklahoma?
Oh, look, I'm the stat guy. But it's just it's interesting. Like, why would he go back? You know, if he did.
Yeah, you don't see. Usually, people go up. They don't always. Well, actually, that's Lane Kiffin, coach of the Raiders. Then went back to college. Nick Saban, coach in the NFL, went back.
He coached at Texas Tech. Yeah, with Pat Mahomes.
But usually, players. Oh, he coached at Texas Tech.
Yeah.
But usually, coaches that are in the NFL for a while and then go back to college football, it's not usually usually they're not on teams as good as the Cardinals are right now. Right. It's like when Lane Kiffin was on the Raiders and they were really bad, he went to USC, and then like Nick Saban went back to college football because he wasn't doing great in the NFL. I mean, I don't know if that's why, but
I do think like I think the Cardinals are probably gonna just like he's just gonna sign another contract. The Cardinals, obviously, right? If they're doing this good, he's probably not gonna leave, but. It is interesting to see that Oklahoma's coming out and being like, this is who we want. He's in the NFL right now, but this is who we want.
Honestly, part of it could just be like a good strategy. That if I'm Oklahoma, I'm like saying, here's who I'm targeting.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
We're in talks with Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
We're in talks with Sean McVay. And like, then all these, when you actually offer somebody a job, they're going to be like, wow, whoa, I gotta take this. I gotta take this because they're also talking to Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah, you can't just look at they're just throwing stuff at the wall and seeing if it sticks. You know what I'm saying? That looks like what's happening.
You miss
right
100% of the shots you don't take. Might as well.
That's legit our motto in your love life, bro.
I would just be sending out an open letter to every NFL coach saying, "Come coach the team." They said maybe like 25 of the NFL coaches.
Yeah, again, it's like when do you take into account like where the team's at? Like, do you think about that, or do you think it's like?
Yeah, well, and I think you mean like if they're good.
No, I'm just saying like not like if they're like how they're doing. Like I'm just saying like legit location wise.
Oh,
like if you think about it, are you going like, do I want to move to Oklahoma?
Oh, I think for a good football program, most coaches don't care.
I don't think they care.
I think they're more focused on a program than location.
Yeah.
Until you get like. I think that's the case with athletes too. Until you get maybe later in your career, that was probably like LeBron coming to LA was probably partially that he wanted to be in LA.
Yeah, I do think it's probably harder for these like veterans to be like, I want to go to the Vikings. I want to go to Minnesota. You know? Yeah,
I do think there is something to be said for that in recruiting. Like that's like imagine Giannis Antetokounmpo being like, guys, come on, Milwaukee, right? We just won a championship. It's like but it's. Milwaukee though, what's going on over there?
Totally get it. Like if I'm Kevin Durant, like I think he was considering the Knicks or the Nets. I'm like, I'll for sure want to be in New York.
Yeah, or even Paul George was like, he was like, yeah, I want to play for an LA team.
Yeah,
and he kind of finessed all the Lakers fans because he grew
said
up a Lakers fan.
Yeah, and he said he wanted to be a Laker.
Everybody assumed he's like, okay, I'm coming to LA, and you're like, oh, sick. Yeah. You grew up a Lakers fan, you're coming to the Lakers.
And they ask him when he's playing at OKC, they're like, do you see we're going anywhere? He's like, I've always picked myself in the Laker jersey, and then they make those plays for the Clippers. Yeah. Like, you're no longer a Laker fan, bro. You've betrayed us all. You broke my heart. I still love you.
Well, that's what's crazy is like how many players just because of like the age that so many players in the NBA are, so many of them grew up Lakers fans. Yeah. Which gives me hope. I'm like, they'll all come home eventually. Because they're all guys that grew up in like the era of like Kobe. So they're all Lakers fans.
That's true. So do you think that's interesting? Like,
even that was probably, if you went back like another generation, like people that grew up watching Magic play.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, that made me think, like, if there's like, let's just say some random team, like let's say like the Heat is really good, right? Mm-hmm. And these kids grow up seeing the Heat really good. Do you think then those kids grow up and they're like, I want to play for the Heat?
Yeah, maybe like 10 years down the line.
Yeah, you get a wave.
Every 10 years down the line from now, everybody's gonna be like, I would love to play for the Warriors one day. Yeah, like, I grew up watching the Splash Brothers.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's pretty interesting. Like, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I don't know if that's. I think that was a thing for like with the Lakers during Kobe's time. I'd be curious if that was a thing for like, I don't know, like everybody was a Bulls fan in the 90s? Probably. Yeah. Little kids watching Michael play.
Well, the worst thing I ever heard in my life, I was at the grocery store, like this legit store, like a week ago, and some kid like threw like a bread roll into his cart and he said, Luca. That's legit. I've never been more confused in my life. And like, I almost started tearing up. I was like, this can't be real life. This man just went, Luca, and threw it in there. And I was like, Kobe. Like a tear came to my face, bro. People started saying, maybe started going, Steph, or Curry.
That was back when there was one time where like there were little kids playing basketball down the street from me, and this was when Nick Young was on the Lakers, I think. Yeah. And I just heard like my ears started tingling. I heard them like throwing up shots, yelling Nick Young, and I was like, what? Oh, and then I looked outside and I realized what they were doing was every time somebody shot a brick, they were going, oh, Nick Young. Poor guy, he's just getting flamed out here.
Dude, that's the best was he's just laying in his bed, does not know, care in the world.
He has no idea there's little kids out there just roasting him. He's like, there's little kids pretending to be me? Yeah, but they're bricking shots.
We never thought like the repercussions of like yelling Kobe when you make a shot. We never thought, what if you the guy that becomes when someone bricks if they yell your name? We never thought about the opposite.
Like people shooting a free throw and be like, Shaq.
No, if you like text some chick who leaves on red, it's like, Austin. Thank you again for watching this episode of the Hard Sports Podcast. And Noah, you have anything to say?
Yeah, definitely. Make sure you're subscribed. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter at Harvester Sports. And we've got a lot of great stuff coming for you. Yep. Dropping on Wednesday, it'll be. Mm-hmm. We've got former first overall pick. Well, actually, not former. He was a first overall pick. David Carr is going to be breaking down some footage. He's going to be talking about why Deshaun Jackson makes the Raiders so much better. Yeah. And it's a really cool thing, and you'll learn a lot.
I think it's going to be a weekly thing where, like, you guys can just send in your questions. Like, again, I think we talked about earlier, like, why is my team this way? Like, what was my team doing on this play? And he will answer his questions, and he will legit make a video answering your questions. We'll do it once a week, probably Wednesday or Thursday, like in the middle of the week, so you guys have a day of rest after the podcast, and then you'll get hit with some more juicy content.
Yeah, you can be like, why is Mac Jones the greatest quarterback of all time? Yeah. And he'll break it down. Or why is my team 2-9?
Yeah, my dad will be like, well, Booty Slayer's 6'4", I'll tell you why. All right, well, thank you all again.
All right, see you, boys.